Okay. Right. So first of all, we have with us your mentor, Usha ma'am. So I would request her to introduce herself to you. All over to you, Usha ma'am.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much, Rajan. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, ma'am.
Yeah. First of all, yeah. Good evening to everybody for joining with us today. And it feels so great because I can see a number of my past students. I remember the names and faces of many. And I can see Sita Ramanna, who's been there with me since class 6. So he was my student in class 6 in an Olympiad batch, in class 7, and now again he's there for class 8. So I think the biggest, the motivation for me is when I see students returning to my batches. Okay, I am Dr. Usha Banerjee, and I have been associated with Olympiad Success for a few years now. I've taken several batches, and I have had students from class 6 to class 10. So, and it's been a pleasure, with Olympiad Success. And best is because every time, every batch, I have a new bunch of bright students like you, all of you. And the demo, I know the demo, you are on mute, but trust me, the classes are very, very interactive. You don't have to be on mute. You can ask questions anytime. And students who have been with me in my previous classes know that you can even annotate. I allow everything in my class, and I've taken so many batches. I've never had any issues with my students, right? And the classes are absolutely interactive. You can, for this demo class, you can ask questions whenever you feel like, in the chat window. I will definitely answer all of the questions. So though the time for the demo is a very bit short, but definitely I look forward to interacting with all of you in the live classes when we have it. And I'm sure because class 8 is actually, this is a batch for standard 8, right? So class 8 is a time when it's like, you have just entered into high school. So this is the time when actually physics, chemistry, and biology become differentiated, and you have numerical questions in physics. And this is like, you're the foundation of your science concepts are laid here. And many of the chapters that you will do in class 8, you will have the same chapters, but at a different level in class 9 and class 10 and class 11 and class 12. So class 8 like lays down the foundation, and that's the reason it's very, very important to focus on concept. Science is not about, learning up things. It's about understanding and applying these concepts to solve real life problems, which you will do in your later, years of your life, right? So I can see all bright faces, and a lot of excitement even for me also. So thank you so much. Over to you, Monica and Rajan.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So students, let me quickly share a very short PPT with you, which would, if you want, you can note down certain details also from it. So let me share my screen.
And Saraswata, like shared like you're in class 9 actually. So Saraswata, this is actually a demo for grade 8. But yeah, if you want, you can attend the demo. So for grade 9, we have demo schedule. So you can check the details on the website, okay?
So is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So very warm welcome to all the students and the parents to this demo and interaction program for class 8 science batch 1. And as you all know that Olympiad Success is India's largest online platform for preparing for Olympiad exams. And Olympiad Success Live provides India's first exclusive live classes for Olympiad's preparation. School Plus Connect is a program which is an annual program that includes 8 important courses. So School Plus program entails mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication, both spoken and written, Vedic maths, and coding. So here you can get one-on-one live online CBSE, ICSE, IGSE, and IB classes for grades 2 to 10, and one-on-one preparation classes for all the international mathematics and science Olympiads. So, SASMO, CMO, HKIMO, then TIMO, Math Counts, US Common Core Math Competition, Math Kangaroo, PRMO, and so on. So you can start your preparation with Olympiad Success classes, and you can meet our international rank holders who are a lot. So as you can see, these are international star performers for 2021 and 22. So these are all the kids Okay. So here you get group sessions with around 20 students in a batch, and the classes will of course be delivered by Zoom. Okay. So our tutors are all very experienced and seasoned tutors with significant teaching experience. So you get 3 sessions per week: Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The timings will be 6:30 p.m. till 7:45 p.m. with 5 minutes break in between. Okay, so the flow of the session would be that 35 minutes class, then 5 minutes break, and then again 35 minutes class. The sessions include a mix of theory, practice questions, doubt sessions, and discussion on previous year papers. Students will get reading material and practice questions, which will be available on the dashboard of Olympiad Success. Now, a virtual tour of this dashboard of Olympiad Success will be given very shortly by Rajan sir. So students, you will get a free access to Olympiad Success platform so that you can practice topic-wise mock test for both science and reasoning. Okay. So now, let's see the syllabus link is also given, the fee link is also given, and all these links, important links, have been shared by Rajan sir in the chat box. So you don't have to worry. You can copy paste from that. And the fees for this course is 12,264. It is going to be a 55 sessions course. Okay. And you can use this link to make the payment. This fees includes online classes, daily reading notes and exercises, practice of previous year papers, and access to Olympiad Success platform for science and logical reasoning. So what you require for these classes is a laptop or a desktop with good internet speed, laptop or desktop with camera, and obviously, as sir has already told, that we do not allow students without video in the class. Okay, you also need headphones for better audio clarity. So preparation for Olympiad exams, as you already know, is slightly tougher than your regular school curriculum. So all you need to do is spend at least 2 hours every day to cope up with the curriculum. And of course, parent support will be required at the back end so that they can, check answers, reiterate concepts and all. Thank you so much. That's all. And all over to you, Rajan sir, for a virtual tour of Olympiad Success Dashboard.
Sure, ma'am. Let me share my screen. So student, this is the website of Olympiad Success. I believe my screen is visible. So let me show you how you can check the content and everything once you enroll for this course. So you need to go on my account. Okay. So in my account, what you need to do, you need to log in with the credential that we will share with you once you log in with us. Okay. Let me log in with my credential. So students, after login, this is the student profile. Here you can check the student name, student ID, email ID, phone number, and everything. And then in the live classes, you will find the content. Okay, let me show you the content. So here you can select the subject. So our subject is science, science Olympiad. Okay. Here you can check the topic. So for each and every topic, students, you will find the reading material and like exercises. Let me show you. So this is the reading material. Let me open the file. So this is the reading material, students. Okay. So for each and every topic, you will get the reading material. And these are practice questions and answer key. Let me show you the practice questions also. So this is the practice question file. Okay. So for each and every topic, you will find the reading material and practice question. Now, other than that, students, you will find the schedule here. So in the schedule, you will get like in each and every session, which topic we are going to cover. And like ma'am shared in the presentation also, like what we are going to do after each and every test, there will be after each and every topic, there will be a mock test. Okay, let me show you. So like in first session, we are going to cover this topic. In session 2, we are going to cover this topic. And when this chapter completed, in third session, we are going to have a test. Okay, chapter test. Now at the end, what we are going to do, we are going to like cover previous year questions of Olympiad. Okay, that is in the super classes. So these are the super classes. So after completing the course, we will have super classes. In super classes, we are going to cover the previous year questions of Olympiad. Here, students, you can check the holiday calendar. Okay, so like on which days you don't have the classes. Now, students, like Monica ma'am shared with you in the presentation also, With this course, you will also get access to the free mock test for science as well as for logical reasoning. So here in worksheet, you can choose the subject, okay, like science. So these are the mock tests, okay. So for each and every topic, you will find the mock test here. Same as for logical reasoning, okay. When you choose logical reasoning here, you will find the topic wise mock test. So these are topic wise mock tests, okay, for each and every topic. So how you can attempt the test, you need to click on take exam to attempt it. Okay, so this is like a mock test only. You need to click on start worksheet. It's an online test. You need to choose the correct option, which one is correct. And when you uh, like choose the correct option, click on next for the next question. After completing it, just click on finish to submit. Okay. So students, this is a feedback form in case if anyone have any feedback, you can share. And here you can see students like the questions, total questions, time taken by the students, and the scope. Okay, so for each and every question, like how many we attempted, how many are correct, how many are wrong, you can check here. Now later on also students, if you want to check your performance, so in the performance tab, you can check like in which mock test, how you have performed. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to choose the subject only here. Okay, let me choose logical reasoning. So here you can click on view result, detailed result. Here you get the analytics like how many questions you attempted, how many are correct, how many are wrong. And when you click on review, you can check like for which question, which answer you have chosen and which answer is correct. Okay. So this is about the dashboard students. Now, if anyone have any doubt or query, you can ask us in the chat box. We will answer that. Okay, we got one question. If I wanted to take all this information, where should I call? As it is difficult to note the information because slide is being displayed very fastly. Okay, no problem. So I have shared the links again in the chat box. So there is our like WhatsApp number. Okay, so like if you want any details, you can just copy this number. You can like message or you can call, and someone from our team will help you. Okay. Do anyone have any other query or doubt?
Please feel free to ask in the chat box. We'll be happy to answer that. When can we clear our doubts?
Doubts related to topic or doubts related to today's what I have or Monica ma'am shared. If you're talking about doubts related to the topic, so like in the classes only you can ask the doubts. Okay. So in the regular class you will be unmuted. Okay. So you can ask the doubts. Obviously, like you need to like listen Usha ma'am firstly. So you can raise your hand and when ma'am said you can ask, then you can ask the questions. What is the timing of classes? We are not from India. Okay, can anyone share the timings for the classes? I guess Monica ma'am shared in the presentation. What is the timing for the classes, students? Anyone? Anyone remember? 6. No, Ashwika, 6 is not correct. Yes, 6:30, but 6:30 to up to which time? Correct, Dheeraj. 6:30 to 7:45 p.m. Indian time. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, students? Okay, Ashwika, I think you are asking for mock tests and super classes. Okay. So see, for mock test and super classes doubts. So for mock test, how it is like we will share the mock test link with you. You need to attempt at home, and then there will be a discussion in the class. Okay, there will be a test discussion, and in super classes also we follow the same process.
What's the group size? Gitanshi is asking. I think I told in the PPT.
So there will be around 18 to 20 students in the class. Okay, I got one more question. So there is no page like live classes in my dashboard page. There is what you need to do, you need to enroll firstly for the course, then you can see the live class. Like I've shared. Any other questions, students? Do anyone have any query or like, can I ask the question then?
She has raised her
Okay,
hand. Oh.
okay, ma'am. Yeah, I think Gitanshi, you can write.
Can you accommodate timings for international students?
So, Gitanshi, what you can do, you can share the like timings on the WhatsApp number that I've shared. Okay, let me share the links again. So you can just WhatsApp the team. Okay, the timing suitable for you. And if it's possible for us, in that case, we will definitely consider it. Okay.
So Ashvika is asking from when is the batch starting?
Can anyone tell when batch is going to start?
Anvesh,
25th March. Correct. Correct. We are going to start the live classes for 25th March. Okay, let me ask one follow-up question. So, what are the days on which we have the classes? No, not Tuesday, Wednesday. Yes, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Class days are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
so
Will
Dheeraj
the
is
study
asking,
material?
will the study materials be soft copy or hard copy?
No, it will be soft copy only. Okay, so for this time, it will be soft copy only. Okay, so you can like all the content will be on your dashboard. You can check everything on dashboard.
Any other question? Sir, I
Do
think
anyone have any other query or like we can like start with the session?
Abhinav is asking, will those be available after the course is completed?
Yes, so like once you enroll for the course, it will be like all the content will be available up to the next session. Okay, like up to the like 28th of Feb.
Like the topic that you have covered, for that you will get material.
No, so like a student can check all the material on the dashboard once they enroll for the course, and all the material is there for them. Okay, like up to the next session, that is like 28 Feb of 2024. So up to then, you can check the content, mock test, everything will be available for you on your dashboard. Any other questions, students?
Can we get the
Can we
course
get
for other subjects also?
Definitely. So, like I shared with you in the links, let me share the links again. So, there is a all batch details link in the links I have shared. Okay. So, there you can check for the other subject batches also.
If any classes are missed, how will the topics for me be covered?
So, it's a group classes. So, we are providing recordings also. Okay. So, you can check the recording in case you like miss any class. But yeah, we definitely prefer live classes only because in the live classes, like your mentor will be there to clear your that is not possible like during recordings. But yeah, in case like in during the emergency, if you miss a class, you can watch the recording. Okay, so students, can we see the recordings on the website? So how it is, see, we do all the communication through WhatsApp only. Okay, so like once you register with us, we will share the schedule on every Monday with you, and we also share the recordings playlist with you. So whenever you want, you can check the recordings. Okay, we will share the list with you, a video list, the playlist. There you can check the recording. Any other questions, students?
All the students who are thanking us, it's a pleasure answering your questions, picking up your doubts. Any other doubts? Sir, I think we should begin with the demo.
Sure, ma'am. So students, I am sharing links again. So there is a WhatsApp number in case if anyone have any doubt, you can ask there. Okay. So we are just starting with the session then. So over to you, Usha, ma'am.
Yeah. Just give me a minute.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So first of all, to answer, all of your questions, I know many of you have many questions and doubts. So for this demo class, I have planned a very, very important chapter of physics, which is force and pressure. And why did I choose force and pressure is that you will have, this is a very, as I told you, it's a very important concept. And this force and pressure, you will have it not only in class 8, you have it in class 9, in class 10, 11, 12, and in your engineering or even in your medicine, you will have it, as a part of the physics curriculum, right? So in the level of class 8, I know your class in class 7, class 6 and 7, some of you, especially those who were there with us in the Olympiad success batches, they have done the concept of force and pressure in a very preliminary kind of way. But in class 8, you really get into the mathematics or the numerical part of it, right? Now, I was seeing all the questions that all of you were typing in the chat window. So I thought, in my demo class also, I clarify a little bit. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we have the live class where all of you will be, unmuted. You can talk, you can interrupt, you can ask questions, you can ask your doubts. Many of you have asked, what do I do if I have doubts on the mock tests? So in my class, you're free to ask doubts from any mock test as long as you don't disturb the class, okay? We shouldn't end up in noise. That is it. My concern is only that. So any question, I would really like if you bring it to the live class and we discuss it, because the advantage of studying in a batch is that if one of you has a doubt, and if I answer the doubt and clarify that concept, the rest 19 of you understand it, right? So that is mutually very beneficial. So I don't remember who had messaged that you're clarifying questions on the mock tests and all that. So after every class, we share a worksheet with you, a worksheet which has questions related to that particular concept that was taught in the previous class, right? So you do the worksheet by yourself, and when you come to the next class, the first thing that I do in my live classes, I discuss each and every question of the worksheet. Now, as many of you, I know you are students of Olympiad success, or you have taken the Olympiad exams, even if you are not, a student of first time in Olympiad success. But I know that most of you know that the Olympiad exams are, MCQ types, right? So trust me, it doesn't work if you just, A, B, C, D, 4 options and you just blindly guess it. So when we discuss the worksheets, when I discuss the worksheets in the class, it is almost like a revision of the topic that I have taught in the previous class. So again, I will be talking about the concepts in a way that I want to understand as the answer to which you have marked either option A, B, C, or D, you have understood the reason and then you have marked that option. That is very important. Okay, my focus lies totally on you understanding the concepts. There is no need of learning up anything. If you are regular in the class, if you do the worksheets, after every chapter or topic that is covered, we'll give you a mock test. We'll assign a mock test to you. You have to do it and submit it. And that mock test we discuss in the class after the mock test is given. So if you are regular, every day you will put in a little bit of extra effort. You will, trust me, you will shine not only in the Olympiad exams, but also in your school exams. Because understand something, what we do for the Olympiad exams for class 8 is essentially your school syllabus, right? But that is, a several, what should I say, several notches above what is taught in school. So definitely the NCERT book, I know you follow the NCERT book or the ICSE book, whichever board you are, doesn't really matter. It will be beneficial for all of you. So our content, and as Rajan and Monica already mentioned, the study material will be available to you. So whatever I teach in the class, if there is something to be noted down, I will tell you, write this down. Right. Apart from that, the focus of the live classes will be that you pay attention and try to understand the concepts. Acha, I know that for today's demo class, all of you have been put on mute, but I will try my best. In case you have any doubts or questions, feel free to write it in the chat window. I will definitely try to answer it. Right. So as I told you, we're doing the chapter or the topic of force and pressure, right? I'm sitting on this chair. Okay. If nobody comes and pushes me or pulls me, or I don't get up by myself, I will be sitting in this position as long as I want. Right. Now, if somebody comes and pushes me, that push is a force. So the basic concept of force is basically push or pull. Okay, one more thing, I do a lot of board work, and in today's demo class, I will not even expect that you write down everything. It will not work in that way. This is just like the trailer of the movie, okay? And we have 55 classes of the movie. Okay, before I forget, one of you has asked, what about the super classes? Right. So technically speaking, we will stick to the schedule which is shared with you also. And usually by the 49, 48, 49, 50 class, we finish the entire syllabus. After that, whatever classes are left, we will focus on solving the previous year's Olympiad's paper. Okay, so when we solve the previous year's Olympiad papers, those classes we call super classes, because by that time you have covered the entire syllabus. Not only that, the advantage is that when we do this, when we solve the papers, so we will assign a paper to you, you're supposed to solve it and come back to the class, and I will discuss each and every question of the paper. The correct solution, how is it done? And because you'll have numerical questions, I'll work out the solutions also on the whiteboard. So that those last few super classes around, usually I get around 7 or 8 comfortably. In those classes, we will do extra numericals. We will discuss the Olympiad papers. And usually I try to cover papers of 10 years. That is like a complete revision for you of the entire syllabus. Okay. In case you have any questions or, doubts, you can't hear me or whatever, feel free to drop a message. I will look into your message and try to address the problem. Okay, so the basic two forces are push and pull. So if you are pulling something, even that is a force. So basically, what is a force? So force is anything which causes the certain things, okay? So what can force cause? Force can cause an object to move, an object to come to rest. You're playing on the ground, okay? You're playing football. The ball is, rolling on the ground. You put your leg and stop the ball. So a moving ball has been brought to rest. You can increase or decrease the speed of the object. So if you kick the ball, the speed of the ball increases. Or you can lower the speed also by simply putting your leg in front of the ball will slow down. I always try to give you examples which are from practical life, from real life, so that you can relate to things. It's very, very important, as I told you, to understand concepts. Don't, try to learn up things. It will not work, right? You cannot do, analytical questions, which you have to think if you have just learned up, bluntly. Force also changes the direction. You're playing on the football ground, you kick the ball in some other direction, the direction of the ball changes. And all of you, I'm sure you have erasers in your pencil box, rubbers, right? To rub. So basically, if you squeeze an eraser or a piece of rubber, you can change the shape of that eraser. So force is anything which can move a stationary object, it can bring a moving object to rest, you can increase or decrease the speed, you can change the direction, you can change the shape, and also the size of the object. So I have a soft ball with me. If I squeeze it, the size of the ball changes, the shape of the ball also changes. But definitely if I take a piece of wood and squeeze it, nothing will happen. So there are certain concepts of physics here, which as we go along the classes, I will clarify it to you, right? So force is anything which force of push is a force. And why, whenever we talk about force, even in your class 9, 10, 11, 12, we start off from here, push and pull, because these two are the basic, categories or the types of force which we experience in everyday lives. To come to the class, you must be sitting on a chair or something, right? You have pulled the chair. I'm sitting on a chair with a table in front of me. I pull the table towards me. All that is force, right? Now, units of force. Now, first of all, what is this unit? So suppose I tell you, I'm fat. So you have no idea of how fat I am, right? You can't understand, right? But if I tell you I am 75 kilos, then immediately you know, oh my God, you must be thinking that, oh my God, she's fat, right? So for any physical quantity, there are small concepts, but very, very important concepts. Physical quantity is anything that can be measured. So what can be measured? So height, weight, then time, anything which can be measured is called a physical quantity. So for any physical quantity in physics, chemistry, and mathematics, see, slowly as you come to senior classes, there is a lot of overlap between physics and chemistry and mathematics. So all the three are interconnected with each other. They are like, cousin sisters and brothers. So any physical quantity, to measure a physical quantity, you need, number one is a numerical value. And this, what we write here, is the unit of measurement. If I ask you, what is your age? So many of you will be telling me, I don't know, approximately 12, 13, 14 years age, right? All of you approximately, I think, between 12 and 14, right? So you will tell you are 12 years old. So what do I understand by this? So the numerical value is 12, means since your birthday, the date you were born, 12 years have passed, and this year is the unit of measurement. I tell you, I am 5 feet, 5 inches tall. You don't know me. Many of you are seeing me for the first time, right? You don't know how tall I am. I tell you, this is correct. I'm 5 feet, 5 inches tall. So this 5 and this 5, these two are the numerical values. Numerical value simply means mathematical quantities, numbers. And this feet and inches, they are the units of measurement. So any physical quantity, and what is a physical quantity? Physical quantity is any quantity that can be measured, right? So the concept, now you can understand why is the subject called physics. Physics is a subject that deals with measurement and calculations and understanding of the concepts, principles, laws of physical quantities. That is physics, right? Temperature, absolutely correct, temperature. So I tell you, the place where I'm living now, it's 27 degrees Celsius. So then you might be understanding that fine, okay, she's not in a very hot place, not in a very cold place. So 27 is the numerical value and unit of measurement is degrees Celsius. Absolutely correct, right? So study of, length, correct, Trishit, correct. So length, weight, mass, force, temperature, pressure, all of these are physical quantities which will have a numerical value and a unit of measurement. Why do we, velocity, correct. Why do we need a numerical value? Suppose I tell you, I'm way older than you, all of you. How will you know how old I am? You don't know, right? You are 12 years old and I tell you, I'm older than you. So I can be 13, I can be 14, I can be 20, I can be 30. I tell you, I am 48 years old. So immediately you can calculate and you can think, okay, she's as old as possibly, my parents or my dad, or she's older than my dad, right? So basically, numerical quantities are used to measure physical quantities. Why? So that we can compare. So you are 12 years old, I'm 48 years old. If I tell you compare, so I am 4 times as old as you. So basically the study of physics, as I told you, helps us not only to measure, but also to compare. And then, there are several laws in physics which will help you to understand real life phenomena. That is the objective of studying. So when you're studying science, whether it's physics or chemistry or biology or even mathematics, later on in your life, you're supposed to apply these concepts and solve real life problems. And that is what all of us are doing in our professional spheres. Okay. So before you even get into the subject, why are we doing all this, right? Only to get marks? No. Yes, Aditi, light is a physical quantity and light can be measured. Okay, clear? These are concepts. I don't expect you to, remember and learn, but definitely when we are in the class, because we'll be talking about these very frequently, it will be as if, it's like your tables. Now, if I ask you 5 times table, light is a form of energy, Anvesha, but it can be measured also. And energy is a physical quantity. Okay, so each of these physical quantities can be correlated with each other and can be measured. So now in this class, you might be thinking, oh my God, it's so complex. It's not. Because every day in every class, in a week, 3 times, you'll be seeing me. And I'll be talking about all of these concepts in different ways. So after a few days, you get used to it. It becomes very normal for you. Right? Okay. Now, so to measure any quantity, as I told you, we have units of measurement, right? So basically, units of measurement may be scalar units or vector units. Scalar units means only magnitude. What is the meaning of the word magnitude? So magnitude is the correct word for numerical value. So scalar units means that only numbers will be enough to measure that particular unit. We will study these terms, Laman, in our regular classes. Today is just a demo class, but these are the basic concepts of physics which we will do. Can you give me examples of scalar quantities? Yes, I was coming to that. Let's say time is a scalar quantity. How do we measure time? We measure time in the unit of seconds. Then let's say length. Length is a scalar quantity. We measure in meter. Mass. Mass is a scalar quantity. We measure in kilograms or kg. On the other hand, I will tell you a very important concept, a difference between mass and weight. All of these are concepts. You will need this all your life. Temperature, correct. Temperature is again a scalar quantity and the unit is Kelvin. Right. On the other hand, vector quantities will need or will have both magnitude and direction. Okay, so we were talking about force, right? Force is a vector quantity. Suppose this is a person here. This is the floor. There is a table here. This is the table on the floor. Okay. If this person pushes this table, there is a boy. If the boy pushes the table, the force acting is in this direction from left to right. And here there is a girl. I don't know how to show a girl. So this is a girl. If the girl pulls the table, the force is acting in this direction also from left to right. So when I'm talking about force, direction is essential. Similarly, if I talk about velocity, speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. So what is the difference between each? All of them we will do in the class, right? How do I know which will be scalar, which will be vector? So for knowing which is scalar and which is vector, you have to first understand, what are these concepts? Okay? Okay. We'll focus on force today, so I'll not go into, magnitude and displacement. All that I will do in the class, right? So the SI, so now I'm in India. I know many of you are in India, many of you are abroad. So for example, currency. In India, we use Indian rupees, right? Tomorrow, if your dad has to go to USA, he has to take American dollars with him. If he has to go to Europe, he has to take euro. If he has to go to Japan, Japanese yen. So basically, all over the world, different forms of currency. Currency means money is used. There's a lot of confusion, right? You want to buy a loaf of bread, you go to a shop in India and give $1, he will not accept it. To avoid this confusion, an international system of units was proposed and also accepted all across the world. This is called the SI system in short form. So what are the other systems of units? So systems of units. So we have the SI system. This is also known as the MK system. Then we have the CGS system. Very, very simple this is. And this is the FPS system. What is the meaning of all this, right? In the SI system, the three basic physical quantities in physics are length. Let me, write it in the way in which they appear. Okay, let me write it in this way. So length is measured in meters. Mass is in kilogram. And time is in second. So what is this? So SI unit means, and why only length, mass and time? Because these are what we call as the fundamental physical quantities. I don't have place, I'm writing in short PQ. So the fundamental physical quantities are length, mass and time. So why is it called MK's unit? M stands for meter, K for kilogram and second. Easy to remember? Similarly, in the CGS, so SI unit or the MKS unit is used all over the world. You're studying today here, wherever you go to the world, everywhere the SI unit is the standard or the international system of units. Right? Now coming to the CGS system, so length is measured as centimeter, mass is measured as gram, and time is measured as second. So therefore, C for centimeter, G for gram, and S for second. Clear? And similarly, in the FPS system, length is foot, mass is pound, time is second. So foot, pound, second, FPS. Now, when the British were in India or in the olden times, FPS units were used. Can you give me one example where today also pound is used? Anybody? Type it in the chat window. No, I'm not talking, Sitaramanna, I am not talking about this pound. No, not the currency, not money. The unit of pound, yeah, the unit of pound is LB. Can you tell me in India, still, in which product or where you have it every day in your lives? Not flour, no. Which product in our daily lives pound is used? What about cake and bread? We say 1 pound cake. Now for your birthday, your mother gets a pound cake or 2 pound cake. You have invited 5 friends at home, so your mother tells 1 pound cake is enough. If you have invited 20 friends, your mother says, no, 1 pound will not be enough. Let's take a 2 pound cake. So, right, in bread and cake in India, even today we are using the unit of mass as pound. And where do we use foot? As I told you, I am 5 feet, 5 inches tall. In measuring the height of a person, even today we use the FPS system. So whenever you're studying something in my class, we will study about the SI system, the CGS system, and the FPS system. right? Clear? Any questions, any doubts, you can type it in the chat window. I will answer. Yeah, 454 grams approximately is 1 pound. Correct. Okay, talking about force, right? So we were talking about force. Now here it is given that the SI unit of force is Newton. This N should be capital. Newton is the name of a person. Sir Isaac Newton was a very famous physicist. There's a story, he sat under an apple tree, an apple fell on his head, and he discovered the force of gravitation. So he questioned, why did the apple fall on my head? Why didn't it go up? So then he came upon the concept of gravity. We have gravity as a part of this chapter also. So gravity is the reason why you are able to stand and walk and, write with a pencil, otherwise you would be floating. So if you have seen movies of space, astronauts in space, the force of gravity is not there in space. And therefore, people tend to float around in space. So Newton has to be with a capital N. So here it is given that the SI unit of force is a Newton, right? So what is the CGS unit? So I'm telling you that the SI unit of force is Newton. SI means the standard unit of force, right? Now, so when we talk in the difference between your normal, school classes and the Olympiad classes is the school will stop at this force, right? The CGS unit of force, anybody? CGS unit of force? The CGS unit of force is called dyne, right? And the FPS unit of force is, normally it is called a poundal. Okay? But usually in your school and in questions, we will be typically using Newton. But you have to know, you're appearing for the Olympiad exams, right? So your preparation has to be one level above the normal syllabus, right? So you should know force, dyne, poundal. So when we do the classes, I'll also tell you what is the connection between each of them. Is that Z or S? Yeah, where FPS? Poundal. If this is your question, okay? So the FPS unit of force is poundal. Right. Now, I told you now this chapter has a lot of numericals also. Let's get into one. I will never read out from slides in my class. I do a lot of board work. I will definitely show you the slide and all that, but that is only for your, you reading. I will never read the slide. I don't like reading the slide. Will we learn the connection between the units? Yes, we will. We will, but that I require more time for that, right? So we have discussed all of these. A force can change or move an object. Now in physics and chemistry, we always talk about object, right? An object may be a human being, a ball, an apple, a dog, a cat, a planet. Anything for me is an object. Okay, so object is a generic term which we will use very often in science, especially in physics and chemistry. The mass of an object is so and so. Karthik definitely will do pressure and force, but as we go along, we still haven't even started force. Okay. So I will not read through slides. I don't do that. Okay. Now, another very important concept. This is the floor. There is a table on the floor. Okay. There is a book on the table. I am writing because my drawings will not be, and this is the floor. I'm not putting arrows because the arrows will confuse you. Okay. There is a boy standing here and there is another boy standing here. Let me call this boy A and this boy or girl, any person. Okay. So we have two people standing across a table. There's a book on the table. Let me make this person fat. So this person here is a fat person and this is a thin person. I'm not telling that fat people are stronger, This is just an example to explain it to you. Okay. I myself am fat. So don't take it personally. This is just an example so that you can understand. Now, both of them are trying to move this book. So person A is pushing this book and person B is also, say, pushing this book from this side. So one is pushing from the left side, one is pushing from the right side. Okay, just an example. So basically, how do I show it? I have an object. So when I talk about the physics part of it, I will just talk about the book. So the object is my book. And there are two forces, A and B, acting on both sides of the book. There's no question of pressure here, Laman. We'll just calculate the force. Suppose I say that A is the fat person, right? I'm assuming that A is more stronger, okay? A is pushing the book with a force of 15 Newton. Newton is the SI unit of force. B is pushing the book. B is the thin, poor chap. B is pushing the book with 5 Newton force. So we can calculate the total or net or resultant force acting on the book. And how much is that? Both the forces are acting in opposite direction, right? So 15 minus 5, 10 Newton acting from left to right. So this 10 Newton is the resultant force or net force or total force which is acting on the book. So the book will move in this direction and the resultant force with which the book will move is 10 Newton. Right? Clear? Okay. Now, this same diagram, we have, interpreted this as this. Now, we'll do small, questions so that you can understand. Nothing in this. It's very simple. Don't be confused or something. There is one object. I have two forces, A and B, acting in the same direction. A is pushing with 5 Newton. Okay, why we subtracted? That is a good question. I'm going back. We subtracted because both the forces were acting in the opposite direction. That is the reason we subtracted. I'm showing you another example. Just give me some time. This is the object and there is a force A and B. A is pushing with 5 Newton, B is pushing with 23 Newton. As I told you, force is a vector quantity. So direction is very, very important. So both are pushing in the same direction. There is a table and me and I can see, Anvesha on my screen in front of me. So me and Anvesha are pushing the table from one side. Obviously, what will happen? The table will move in this direction. So what will be the resultant or net force acting on the table? 23 plus 5, 28 Newton. So to put it very, very simply, when both the forces act in the same direction, you will add. And when the forces act in the opposite direction, you will subtract. Clear? Understood? I hope I answered all your doubts. Who was asking me? Forces in the same direction. Anyway, I lost it in the chat window messages. Okay. Now, let's do a few more complicated scenarios. Again, I have an object. Now, I will not write object anymore. Okay. So, A is acting here, say 5 Newton. B is acting 15 Newton. C is, say, 30 Newton. My question to all of you is, calculate the resultant force acting on the object. So how to do it? So resultant force on this side is 20 Newton, add up. Here it is 30, right? So resultant force, I'm just writing here. So 30 minus 20, 10 Newton acting right to left. So this 10 Newton will be acting in this direction, right to left. So the object will move towards the left. So how do I know which direction the object will move? So the direction in which there is more force, the object will move in that. Now, common sense, think about it. Your mother tells you, come help me move the dining table, right? All this we do in our everyday lives. If you have to move the dining table to the left of your room, so what do? You either pull it from the left or you and your mother push it from the right. So we do all this in our daily lives. Every day we are doing this. In school, your teacher tells you, move your chair back. So either you have to push the chair or you have to pull the chair. So these things we do every day. Yes, Laman, we get Newton's, the unit of force with a negative value because the negative value means the direction. If I write a force of minus 5 Newton, it does not mean minus 5 is the unit. It means that the direction of force is opposite. I can see Adhyasha how to calculate if A and B pull the object in opposite direction. Okay, Adhyasha, I'm showing you one more example. Okay, yeah, subtract. So this is an object. Let's make it big numbers, 100 Newton, 20 Newton. Two forces acting in opposite direction. So the net force, remember one thing, net force, total force, resultant force is the same. So 100 minus 20, 80 Newton. I'm just writing in blue just to show it to you. So 80 Newton is the resultant force acting in the direction of left to right. Right? So even if there are 50 forces, 60 forces, you can calculate the resultant. What if they push but pull? No problem. Suppose I have an object here and all of them are pulling, as you're rightly saying. Pull. Okay, three forces, say 5 Newton, 10 Newton, 17 Newton. So 17 and 10 and 5 is how much? 22 Newton is the resultant, and obviously the object will move this side. So it's like three people, you, your mom, and your dad pulling a dining table at home. Whenever you study, always think of the examples from your real life. Dhavik, yes. When we will use minus and when we will use plus. Dheeraj, if the forces are acting in opposite direction, it will be subtracting or minus. If the forces are acting in the same direction, it will be adding or plus. To put it very, very simply. Okay. So same example, I, start pulling this 100 Newton. What is the resultant? You will tell me. Aditi, you will tell me what is the resultant? So 100 minus 22, 78 units is the resultant, and now the resultant force acts in this direction. Clear? So all this you will use a lot, in your life. I'm telling life because this is just the beginning. Okay, Karthik will come to pressure and force later. We haven't even started force. This is just basic introduction going on still. Okay. So we'll do a lot more in the real classes. This is just a demo class. Okay. Now, we have different kinds of forces. We have a contact force and a non-contact. Yes, Dhavik, you have to, I saw you raised your hand, but because, I can't unmute you, so you have to type your question in the chat window. Right? Okay. When do we use minus and plus? Dheeraj, I'm answering your question. When the forces are in the same direction, you have to add. When the forces are in opposite directions, you have to subtract. South or north or left or right, Dhavik, it depends on the object and what are the forces acting on the object. Okay. Okay. So there are two basic kind of forces. So I have told about this. Vector quantity has magnitude and direction, right? Magnitude means numerical value. Direction means direction. Now you can have a contact force or a non-contact force. Okay. I'll give you an example. If I'm pushing you, I'm touching you, right? So what does the English word contact mean? Contact means to touch, right? So when I'm touching you, that is a contact force. So what is the force which is without touching? Can you give me an example? Gravitational force. Gravitational force is a force. The apple falls down from the tree. That is a non-contact force or a field force. I'll give you loads of examples when hitting someone is a contact force. So if there is actual touching between two objects, that is a contact force. Right? Okay. So this is what I was explaining. These boxes are typos. So the combination of forces is called the net force. This is also, some books call it the total force or call it the resultant force. Okay. So when more than one force is acting on an object, we have what is called as, we can calculate the net force or the resultant force. So the net force or resultant force is nothing. It also tells the direction in which the object will move. Right? So this is what Dheeraj has been asking several times. I told also. So when the forces are acting in the same direction, you have to add up the forces to find the resultant force. And when they are acting in opposite direction, you have to subtract them. Right? Karthik, to answer your question, magnitude means numerical value. So if you are 12 years old, 12 is the magnitude. If you are 30 kilos of weight or 40 kilos weight, mass, 40 is your magnitude. Magnitude means numerical value. So every unit, every physical quantity has magnitude and unit of measurement. I'm trying to answer all of your questions. Ma'am, please explain direction. So direction is whether you're, direction means in which, direction. How do I explain direction? So east, west, north, south are the four common, common directions that we have. Right? So direction means the English word direction only. There's no specific meaning of the word direction. The English word direction. Right? I think I answered most of your questions. Still, I'm having a look. How will we understand in which direction the object will move? The direction of the resultant force or the net force will give the direction of motion of the object. Tell me something. All, I don't know that there are 30 people in this class. There are 30 children in this class. All of you in one direction, you're pushing the table. Obviously, all your forces will get added upon and the table will move in that direction. Just common sense. But if there is a truck coming from that side, all of you 30 children force will be lesser than the force exerted by the truck. So then the table will move in the opposite direction. When subtracting forces, the negative answer means that the direction is opposite, nothing else. The negative value only talks about the direction, right? So don't worry, all this, we take several classes to cover. It doesn't happen in one day, right? So the direction of the force is very, very important. So pushing and pulling are opposite direction. So when the forces are acting in opposite direction, you have to subtract them. You subtract only the numerical value. Don't put a negative sign in front of it, because negative means the direction is different. These are arrows. So here we have two forces, A and B. Same picture. This is the object. So A and B, A is 5 Newton, B is 10 Newton. So what will be the resultant force? The resultant force or the net force will be 5 Newton. Okay. Okay. These are the different types of forces. We'll do most of it, as a part of the chapter. So gravitational force, we know. Archimedes' force, we know. Frictional force. Can you give me one example of frictional force? We use it every day in our lives. Can you walk without friction? No, you'll slip and fall. Can you write on a paper or on a board without friction? No. So each of these forces are very, very essential to everyday lives. We can't imagine. Okay, now there is a force here called normal force. What does this normal mean? In physics, chemistry, and mathematics, henceforth, normal means perpendicular. Sorry. So very often we will be using this word. Perpendicular means at an angle of 90 degrees. So the word normal means perpendicular, not normal, abnormal. Rajat, I'll explain all of this. Understand something. This is just a demo class, right? So in the demo class, whatever is possible in 45 minutes, I'm trying to cover. Example of a normal force. This is an object. Somebody is standing here and pushing this table like this. So the angle which the force makes with the table is 90 degrees. So then this force is called a normal force. So a normal force makes an angle of 90 degrees or is perpendicular to the surface of the object. Okay. I think I'm running out of lack of time. So I will definitely, this was a very short demo. I tried my best to give you a feel of how the actual classes will go. But I think I have to stop here. Rajan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think I have to stop here because I'm seeing the time also. So I'm open to taking questions. Archimedes' force, all of that, I'll do it. Trust me, we'll do it in the class.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for the demo today. And students, can you please let us know like how was the session? Do you like it? You can write in the chat box. It was great. Yes, sir. Very interesting. Very much liked. Okay. Okay. Thank you, students. Thank you for the wonderful adjectives. I like it. So it was interesting. It was excellent. Okay. Good to read these like wonderful adjectives. So thank you students for joining today, and thank you Usha ma'am for the wonderful session. So now students, like Usha ma'am will meet you in the live classes. So hope you see in the live classes now. Okay. So thank you for joining today. Bye everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. I'm logging out then.
Yeah ma'am, sure.